Hey, how's it going, everyone? I am Marcel Jackson, founder of Professionally Developed. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Just wanted to come speak a little bit about illegal interview questions. Now, interviews are set up for organizations to ask you questions and to get a better understanding of who you are and actually fill the position for the best applicant for the job. However, interviewers are not permitted to ask you questions regarding protected categories. So let's jump into a few illegal questions to ask in an interview in the United States. Age. How old are you? Where were you born? What year were you born? When did you graduate from high school? Nope. This is to combat age discrimination. So those questions cannot be asked in an interview. Now, the one caveat is if you're working for an establishment where you have to be 18 or over, or like 21 and over because alcohol is being served or anything of that nature, they may ask you, hey, are you at least, over this age or at least this age, but they can't flat out ask you how old you are, what year you were born. Marital status or family status. Are you single? Are you married? Do you have children? Do you plan to have children? Nope. All of those is technically illegal to ask in the interview. So, nope, they cannot ask you that. Disability. Do you have a disability? Have you ever filed a workman's or workers' compensation claim? Can't ask you that. The only thing that they can ask you in terms of ability is, can you perform the job outlined in the job description? Like all of the functions. That's it. National origin and citizenship. Are you a U.S. citizen? Can't ask you that. Where were you born? Nope. What country did your parents come from? Nope. Is English your second language? They cannot ask you any of those questions. The only question they can ask in terms of like citizenship, right, is, or just not in terms of citizenship, but the only thing that they can ask you is, are you legally eligible to work in the United States? That's it. That doesn't mean you're a citizen, you have a green card, you're here something. Nope. Can you work legally in the United States? That's all they can ask you. Some other questions, right, that they're unable to ask you in the interview. Have you ever been arrested? Being arrested for something and being convicted are two different things. So they can't ask you about past arrest. Now, if it's a security clearance job or something like that, maybe they have some type of leeway there, but for majority of the job functions, they cannot ask you that. Who is your pastor? Are you religious? What religion do you practice? They can't even ask you, how do you spend your weekends, right? Because that might, depending on your faith, that might interfere with their decision on hiring you or anything else. So they can't even ask those leading questions to try to get there. So nope, can't ask you any of that. They can't ask you, what gender do you identify as? Nope. What is your race or color? Nope. Do you own or rent your home? Nope. Some employers fish for stability and everything else. They can't even ask you who you live with or if you have adequate childcare. Nope. The interview should be focused on, can you perform the job task, right? Now, because interviews are very conversational, some stuff comes up, right? So any information you offer as the interviewee, like, that's different because you offered up that information. So I'm just covering things that they cannot ask you, or things that are illegal for them to ask you. So, Marcel, how do I respond to an illegal question? How you respond is totally up to you. So you can choose to go ahead and answer the question. Up to you. A better response I like is ask for clarity. So, hey, before I respond, I would like to better understand, how is this relevant to the job? Can you elaborate? So this gives the interviewer time to clarify, like, why are they asking you this question? Like, let's get to the root cause of it before you respond at all. Like, you can respond and say, hey, I'm not comfortable doing this, or yes, I'll give you the information, but ask for clarity, right? So a couple situations might happen here. One, they might just be fishing for information and looking to flat out discriminate, right? Two, we have a lot of inexperienced people, and maybe they haven't conducted too many interviews, or it felt so much like a conversation they were just making talk. But regardless, asking for clarity allows them to know that you know what you're talking about, it's illegal for them to ask you this question. So yeah. Another response that I really like from the self-made millennial is, hey, I am happy to provide the relevant job information and documentation you need once an offer is permitted. Again, once you have the offer, once you're out of this candidate phase and you have the job, that's that's a different story because you might have to submit certain documentations. But as far as the interview is based on your performance, it's based on, everything else, how you respond. It shouldn't be based on your age or your marital status or your gender identification, like all of that stuff. Nope. Or where you live, or if you're a homeowner, or if you own a car. They can't even ask you that if you own a car. Like, no, unless it's a job where you're like driving and it's detailed on the job description. Nope, they can't ask you. Yep. So that was a good list, right, of questions, but there's way more questions that employers are not allowed to ask you in an interview. So the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or EEOC, is the federal body that governs all of that. Also, I would say check them out for all of the federal questions that they can ask, and then also per state, there's certain things that you can and cannot ask. Like some states, they can't even ask you about salary, right? So I would say, yeah, the more you know. So drop a comment. Let me know if you're a manager. Have you went through any of this? If you're an employee, have you ever been asked any of these questions? How did you navigate that? Yeah, just want to talk to y'all. So cool. Thanks again for tuning in and listening all the way to the end. So, alrighty.